If a local toy store's robotic Santa Claus malfunctioned and went on a killing spree in your small town, what would you do? If it's me, I'm giving him a naughty and nice list and hoping he takes requests. This little town full of punk rock enthusiasts has no idea what's heading its way. They're too busy getting drunk, getting busy, and listening to great music when a guy shaped like Kris Kringle hurls one of his victims' bodies through their living room window. If they want to survive, well, they really just have to pay attention. I'm going to break down the mistakes made, what you should do, and how to beat the murder Santa in Christmas Bloody Christmas. Our story begins with some channel surfing through Rick Sanchez's interdimensional cable. This season, our cookies are laced with Mary Jane. There's a Christmas marathon, and the military's released its latest nightmare for public consumption, a robotic Santa Claus based on super soldier tech used in the ongoing war on peace. This thing is a trip to the uncanny valley that we never asked for, boasting a vocabulary of over 90,000 words. Not that we'll hear any of it, as well as a full range of motion and military-grade construction. They're selling this as a replacement for your degenerate mall Santa, but I'm thinking it'd make a great toy for the whole family. Drop that price tag down, and you'll have 6-year-olds begging for a life-sized Grandpa Barbie. Racism optional. Across town, we meet Tori and her best friend slash would-be love slash store clerk Robbie. They're closing up at the local punk rock record shop. To pregame, they head to the local toy store to drink with their friends Lana and Jay, who are celebrating the season with an all-day smush fest on top of all the toys no one bought. Santa's on display near the front, even though there's a massive international recall currently on the news because some models may have reverted to their military settings without warning. Tori and Robbie head to the local bar to will they, won't they, all over the bartender and the creepy drunk Sheriff Monroe. Meanwhile, at the toy store, Lana and Jay enter their 12th hour of carnal celebration when the lights flicker. Robot Santa steps off his display pedestal and he insta-navigates to a fire axe.
Okay, fine. No,
then stomps back into the room and splits Jay's Yule log. Lana runs to the locked front door, dodges the axe as he throws it, then ducks behind an aisle, where he captures her and plays percussion with her head. Bitch, this is your store. What are you hiding behind the aisle for? Nowadays, glass storefronts like these are usually made with tempered glass, which has a surface compression of 10,000 psi and breaks at around 24,000 psi. So the holiday season is upon us, and that can only mean one thing: asserting your dominance over your loved ones by putting their pathetic gifts to shame. What, did you think I was gonna say something about love and the spirit of giving? You must be new here. Let's stop kidding ourselves and focus on what really matters. And what better way to do that than with high quality products from today's sponsor, The Ridge. Oh, what, Uncle John got you a tie clip this year? Yeah, I'm sure that'll see some mileage. Now get that schlub one of Ridge's new ceramic powder wallets to serve as a permanent reminder of his ineptitude. With every purchase, he'll be forced to stare at its sleek design and durable construction. His heart will fill with rage at the knowledge he's been beaten. Or maybe add insult to injury by adding a personalized text or design to the wallet. Something subtle yet powerful, like "I own you," or "better luck next year." Plus, you'll get 30% off when buying a Ridge wallet and key case together. That's 2 times the gifting energy at one affordable price. And with their lifetime guarantee, you can rest easy knowing your family members will be forced to carry the L for eternity. So head over to theridge.com/nerdexplains to get up to 30% off site-wide until December 20th. And if you use my link, you can enter your email or SMS for a free chance to win a Ridge bundle worth $4,000. No purchase necessary. Don't settle for second place. Win the holidays with The Ridge. That sounds like a lot, which it is. Car and house windows are made with this stuff, but it's point sensitive, meaning it can be broken relatively easily with something like an escape hammer. If you don't have a pointed object, then cracking the glass with something blunt and heavy and then repeatedly bashing the crack will break it. But again, this is your story. door. There's an entire back section and probable emergency exit at your disposal. Not to mention, your keys are back there. I know your adrenaline's running high, but there's literally not another person alive on this green earth that knows the layout of this building better than you do. Santa collects his fire axe and exits the building through the front door Lana couldn't open. So, either with military pickpocket technology, or the door was always open. Santa spots Tori and Robbie walking around and pursues them at Energy Saver Terminator speed. By the time Tori and Robbie get to consummating at her house, he's just ambling up the frozen road. Since he lost sight of them the moment that they drove away, this suggests he's locked onto them, like they're low-jacked or something. But when he reaches Tori's house, Santa gets distracted by your neighbor's bright Christmas lights. He axes the door open, encountering a dad on the second floor who thinks his kid is the one making all that noise. He tries to run, and Santa starts slaying. The guy's wife runs, closing and locking both the bedroom and the bathroom door behind her. Check out this top-tier Nerd Explained follower over here. She even grabs a weapon, finding scissors in the bathroom drawer. Unfortunately, she doesn't know he's not human. Not that she actually tries to attack him. I mean, if you know you're not going to attack, then maybe escape out the bathroom window. Once you realize he is going to get in. We also have the option of spraying him with water. Hear me out. Most showers have adjustable heads. Step inside the shower, aim the head at the floor outside, turn it on. This point stands whether he's robot or not. He might slip, giving us the chance to grab his weapon, or, in this case, he might short circuit. Clearly, there was some faulty design work here in the first place. Bonus points if you have the coordination to toss a towel over his head when he enters. Santa turns the axe to its pointed side, for the variety, and goes for her eye. Maybe it's because I had a happy home life. The vicious sound of my parents dying isn't white noise to me, but their kid takes their screaming in stride. He sees Santa, just rushes to the tree to check for gifts. Across the street, Tori picks this moment to look out the window. She gets a sneak peek at the carnage we paid full ticket price for. Tori yells for Robbie, and they both frantically search their phones to call for the police, which is kind of funny. It's a pretty good twist on those don't even try to call the cops in the first place. While Robbie searches, Tori wakes her sister Liddy and her loud-mouthed husband Mike. He's a lost cause and a danger to our survival 5 seconds after entering consciousness.
All right, I got the keys.
Santa brought home some sweet strategy from Desert Storm. He pretends to walk away before suddenly shattering the window with a neighbor's body and entering. Robbie uses the literal body pillow to block Santa's first swing. Tori throws a bottle, and they all break for the door. Santa slams the axe into the wood, but not in the way that makes it unopenable, and grabs Liddy, who everyone just kind of abandons. Stupid brother-in-law at least gets red carded to the naughty list immediately. He trips over nothing and doesn't even try to get back up. Outside, Tori and Robbie make it to the car, but crash into the neighbor's ride speeding backward down the driveway. The neighbor's situational awareness is too blinded by rage and all that hair in his face to hear their warnings about what's coming for him. Behind you! Damn. I want Santa's axe in my zombie survival starter kit. The car slides backward into a tree and Santa rips the windshield off, yanking Robbie out like a crash test dummy. He goes for Tori, but she retreats into the car, splitting his focus, which distracts him into retrieving his axe. How exactly does his military programming translate into an obsession with this weapon? You don't need it. Just rip their heads off, man. Neither Tori nor Robbie take advantage of the interruption. Tori just starts jazz honking the horn while Robbie crawls around in a daze until old Saint Nick Kris Kringles his head in. People, you gotta use your distractions wisely. You're only gonna get a few of these, and they'll mean the difference between life and death. I promise. Just like in the Terminator series, putting distance between you and the cyborg hunting you exponentially increases your chances of survival. Unlike in the Terminator series, this thing only has one walking speed. Get out of the car with a gaping hole in it. Pick up your friend if you're feeling generous. Move away from the big, slow, red boy any faster than 2 miles an hour, and you'll outrun him easily. 2 seconds after Robbie dies, a cop shows up, saving Tori from obvious death. He fires 4 shots into Santa's torso, and he falls. The cop coaxes Tori into his car after calling everything in, but she warns that the others are dead and others will die if he doesn't make sure Santa has actually been terminated, which he hasn't.
Only a few of us!
Tori tells the cop to shoot Santa's head off, which I respect and agree with, but the cop only arms him instead. Tori dodges a shot and finally embraces her inner punk, gunning the gas and flattening Santa twice before driving away. Down the road, she uses the police radio to call in the cop's death, then makes the naive mistake of thinking the cops will actually believe her. She pulls in front of an approaching officer and asks for help. They, of course, put the blood-covered girl ranting about an officer's death in cuffs and take her to the station. The only saving grace here is that they actually investigate the scene of the massacre and figure out pretty quickly she didn't do it. Duh. But they don't believe her when she says the toy store Robo Santa is killing people. Which, I mean, yeah, even with the recall, it's pretty wild. Suddenly, all their guys at the crime scene go radio silent on them. Uh-oh. The sheriff's deputy prepares to check on them when an ambulance outside the station destroys a cop car. Tori warns it's Santa, which, again, they don't believe. But they give her a gun anyway, which is the kind of small-town generosity we can all appreciate. The men venture out to confront whoever's in the ambulance, which would make things pretty awkward if there were actual injured people out there. Instead, the sheriff fires wildly before screaming. His body flutters down over the ambulance a few seconds later.
Monroe!
Bro, what part of ranged weapon do you not understand? Back the fuck up. You trying to ride Santa piggyback or something? Also, aim higher. If a shot to the chest doesn't phase him, one to the eyes might. And if that doesn't work, you should probably run. I feel like I can't stress enough to you how slow Father Christmas is here. You don't even have to run, just kind of like walk fast or something. Tori grabs a taser and upgrades her handgun to a shotty, but Santa disappears from sight. She hears a radio and tries calling for help, but she doesn't know how it works. Only then does she load her weapon. Yeah, and we're keeping the handgun too. We're not even close to our inventory carry limit yet. Terminator Santa enters and begins flipping desks when he can't immediately see her, which suggests this advanced military technology has the same targeting ability as normal human eyes. That's kind of stupid. I think that's a bigger reason to recall these things than murder. That means any corner we can turn earns us an immediate and sizable distance bonus. Like, seriously, this is the thing from It Follows. Run 2 miles away, and you'll be waiting several hours for him to catch up with you. Tori peeks from her hiding spot, and he comes for her, flipping the desk and grabbing the gun before she even fires. At the last second, she pulls the taser and fries him, right before dropping the taser and leaving. Just FYI, some taser models carry between 50 and 100 shots per battery. Of course, Santa springs right back up. Outside, Tori calls out over the ambulance radio for help. She even gets the ambo running, but not before Santa latches onto the back and crawls in. When swerving doesn't knock him back, she opts for the Zombieland classic, buckling herself in and crashing into a car. Ejecto-cedo, cuz. Tori shoves the car on top of Santa to keep him pinned, then shoves a piece of shirt into the gas tank and blows the whole thing up. But even after all that, the dude is still twitching, which means she should still be running, or at the very least breaking into a second car to pile on top of the first one before just burying that axe into his head. Instead, she stumbles off into her shop to get baked. Robo Santa frees himself and enters the shop to hunt her. She evades him by literally just staying out of sight, then attacks when he finds her, impaling him through the middle with a decorative sword. Looks like she finally found his off switch. Or not. Tori spots the sprinkler system and starts a fire, triggering the water seconds before he reaches her, falling backward and breaking her ankle in the process. The water doesn't kill him, which I really hope it wouldn't. I mean, that'd be another big reason for a recall. Tori's too exhausted to think clearly. She reaches for the counter to help herself up, and he punishes her for the lapse in judgment. Real shame we couldn't have avoided all this by just running away. Tori tries to drag herself out of reach, but Santa crawls after her. With no energy left, she rips a power cable off the wall and electrocutes him. Finally, definitely, almost, sort of, probably destroying him for good. What? You mean a jolt of electricity? The only thing that stopped him so far, even if just for a short while, was the way to destroy him all along? Oh my god. Unbelievable. So, this one's honestly pretty easy to beat for the simple reason that we're paying attention. Only once in this entire movie did this Wish Terminator move faster than an old school zombie, and even that was with the help of a vehicle. It's never fully explained how it tracks Tori specifically, or why, but maybe it's an anyone I see I have to kill military setting. Another great reason for a recall. Even then, how is it tracking her across town when it can't even find her in a small room? I digress. Until we have a clear strategy, we keep moving. Jay's death was unavoidable. RIP to the dude who got capped laying pipe. Lana's death, however, comes down to how dulled her senses were to booze and other recreationals. But it was her friggin' shop. She should know the exit points. The neighbors' deaths were a random tangent and unavoidable unless they had prepared as a family for an intruder, which they did not. Tori's sister and brother-in-law were sort of inevitable. For some reason, no one thought to escape through the secondary basement exit until after Santa attacked. Even the angry neighbor would have probably lived if the four in Tori's house had made it to the car. Robbie's death was 100% avoidable. Again, Santa moves at the speed of cold honey. The cop's death, in fact, all the cops' deaths were probably unavoidable for the simple reason that they would not believe a robo-murdered Santa until he was right there in front of them, and none of them seemed to remember that guns are in fact ranged weapons. Now, to beat this thing, once we've put distance between us, there's two ways this could go. Since there is a massive recall for these Santas already on the news, driving to any place with a phone and calling the Department of Defense would probably spark an immediate response team, and we could just keep driving until we hear it's been dealt with. But if we have to take him down ourselves, the tried and true methods are probably sufficient. Burning him is a classic. Crushing him into a wall with a car will work, and electrocution is an obvious one. Only some military-grade robots today are water resistant, and even they can only handle a light rain before the water starts to mess with their internal components. Bob and weave, stay out of grabbing range, and leave at sight whenever you need to try something new. Really, Robo Santa is like a slower, clunkier military robot dog. It probably has the same weaknesses. There's definitely an off switch somewhere, and its lithium battery is probably pretty easy to destroy once you know where it is. So removing its costume may be our next step if crushing it and setting it on fire doesn't work. You could always try to lead it to a smelter or something too, you know, because it's classic. Finally, this thing hunts with two stupid human-positioned optical sensors, not even a full 360 ring of eyes. So tossing a blanket over it, flame-throwing its eyes, or locking it into a pitch-black room will block its optical signal. Just remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint. If a plan fails, literally put like 500 feet between you and Santa and then re-strategize. For those reasons, I think Christmas Bloody Christmas was beaten. Just think of this as a friendly prep for the inevitable robot dog wars. Get your practice in ahead of time.